All right, good morning. Welcome to our virtual Lunch and Learn. I'm Nancy Smith, Executive Director with the Shawano Country Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here today with Tammy Brzeczkowski, who is owner of Dynamic Designs Unlimited and also social media guru. So I'm going to turn it over to Tammy to talk about using Google My Business to gain business, and I'll let her introduce herself a little more thoroughly. So go ahead and take it away, Tammy.
Thanks, Nance. So, yes, I am the owner or one of the owners of Dynamic Designs, and we are a marketing firm, branding firm in Pulaski. So we help companies and organizations like yourself brand yourself. We do it through social media. We do it through websites, email marketing, a whole slew. There's a lot of marketing tools out there. And so we try and stay abreast on everything and keep you guys informed as to what is happening and what works for you. So today, we're going to talk about Google My Business. And there's been a push for Google to make sure that you have a Google My Business account, a profile. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today and why it's important and what else you should be doing. So what you should know about GMB, and that's the acronym here, Google My Business. So if you hear people saying GMB, that's what they're talking about, Google My Business. So you aren't losing money. So that is what we are going to be talking about. So Google My Business is actually a tool to help you manage your online presence. So it includes the search and map, and people can easily find you by searching. They can actually call or get to you by the click of a button. They can see your hours, your times available. They can see your services, your products, and pictures and posts that you have. So this is actually a profile. So I grabbed Body Essentials. So they have a profile, and you can also see that on this profile, you see the map, you see the reviews. Body Essentials has 28 reviews, which is awesome. And typically you see more reviews with retail. And then you see their address, their phone number, and some information here. So that is what a profile looks like. Now, on average, a business receives over 1,000 customer searches each month, and that's through Bright Local. That's a research, some research that they did. 84% of those searches are discovery searches. So that means that they're not direct searches, they're discovering you. And that is really, really important. Some other key findings about these Google My Business is that a typical business receives 59 actions from Google My Business every single month. And I'm going to show you my profile a little bit later too, just so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. But on average, 56 actions, or 56% of the actions are visits to your website. Okay, 16% of the businesses receive more than 100 calls each month from GMB. And just a little tidbit here, car dealerships receive the highest number of calls and website visits from Google My Business. And just to give you an idea, percentage of increase from 2017, the last quarter, to 2018, GMB grew like 22%. Okay, so I have to put this out there because this is how I feel, all right? I need a haircut. Everybody needs a haircut, right? Thanks, Nance. So what do, right? We go to Google, and this is what we do. So we search for salons near me, or salons in Shawano. I think that's what I searched here. And where you want to be on Google is this 3-pack. Okay, so I searched salons in Shawano or near Shawano, and this is what I got, the top 3. And we call it a 3-pack. And Google says that what that is the most relevant, the most optimized Google My Business profiles, the top best 3, according to your search. And So many of you might not know that, but my sister is Julie, Salon 2140. I wanted to see where she was. She's actually number 4, okay? But you can click on that more places right here, and you can actually see all of the other listings in there. And they are according to relevancy, all right? So, whoops. The very first thing what you need to do, if you haven't done it already, and I know that Nancy, we've pushed and we've done some Google My Business things, setting up your profile. But the very first thing that you need to do is set up your business profile. And it's easy. I've got a link in here. You go to Google My Business or google.com/business. And if you have a Google account, you can sign in. If you don't, you can set one up. And the most important thing is filling out your hours, your information, your profile. And I'm just going to show you what that kind of looks like. So this is the page here. In the right-hand corner, you can either sign in or you can manage. And I'm typically, and I will show you guys after how I manage this for myself. All right. There is one little stipulation. In order for your business, in order for you to manage it and to make posts on Google My Business, and we'll get to that in a second, but you need to be verified. So after you set up your profile, you need to verify it, okay? And there is a step-by-step process to do that. Once you are verified, this is where we need to think about doing more in Google My Business. Okay, so once you have your profile set up, there's a lot of things that you can do that will help optimize your profile. And this, my friends, is what your Google My Business page looks like after you set it up, or even before you set it up. You can actually go in here, and if you can see the little pencil icons that I have here, this is where you can edit things, okay? Now, one of the most important things that you need to do, I've got share your page, but the most important thing that you need to do is set up that profile. So you're gonna go through this entire thing here, and you're gonna set everything up and make sure that you have your profile filled out. And I'm even especially including the hours here. So a lot of people, a lot of people right now, you can see that they are temporarily closed. And that is an option that they have in there for the COVID. So as long as you can keep your hours updated, this is really, really important. Next to sharing your page, okay?
Tammy?
Yep, go ahead,
I have
Nan.
a quick question. I just
Yeah.
want to verify. We have a question if everyone attending will be able to get a copy of this presentation.
Oh, absolutely. I'll share it with you after, Nance. And you
Perfect.
can, okay.
Thank
Yep,
you.
you bet. So the second best thing that you can do to help grow your business is you're going to want to share this page. And you can see where I have the arrows here, right? This is a little share button. You can actually share it to your Twitter. You can share it to your Facebook. It allows you that option to share your page. It gives you that link. So make sure that you do this. This is just as important, you know, as sharing your website with someone. Google gets a lot of hits, and that you want to make sure that you do share that. All right. The second thing that you really need to do in Google is you need to make posts, okay? They recommend making posts every 7 days. I say at minimum, you want to at least have a presence out there of once a month. If you're not doing anything, you want to have a presence out there of at least once a month. So you can see here, when you click on posts, you're going to be able to see all of the posts that you have. But you can see they have COVID-19, they have add an offer, add an update, add an event. You can do different posts, and that's what I kind of wanted to share with you right here. I typically will add, you know, updates, or if I have an event, I'll put events out there. But just like Facebook, you want to be posting in Google My Business. All right. It's going to help you get to the top of that 3-pack, as I called it earlier.
I have another question, Tammy.
Yep, go ahead.
There's a question, is there a way to connect this to a page manager?
Connect this to you mean your Google My Business? Connect it to another user maybe?
Yes.
The answer to that is yes. In fact, and I can show you this afterward, but if you take a look at users down here, right here is where you can add, just like in Facebook, you can add administrators and editors. You can do that in Google My Business. I do believe they need to have a Gmail account. So you want to make sure that they have like a Gmail account, and you'll be able to do this. But that is where you add users right here. Good question though too, because a lot of people, like we have a dashboard of clients that we manage, and we're, you know, they're having us manage it, so we're added on to their user base. So that is a great question. Okay, so one of the things that I really like in Google My Business is I can see what other businesses, I can see my competition. And you need to be aware of what your competition is doing. So halfway down the page, you can see I have it circled here. Businesses like yours are posting. You can actually flip through that. It's got a little arrow thing. You can flip through that and you can see all of the businesses, what they're posting. Just like I think Facebook allows you to see all of like ads that businesses run, you can see what businesses are posting and what they are posting. You can actually see their postings in there. So this is a great thing. You want to make sure that you're watching your competition and staying ahead of your competition at the same time. All right. So this wouldn't be right if I didn't share this information with you, because even though you're paying for it, you can. This is the platform where you can create the ads, right? So on the menu, you can actually see down here. This is where you create ads. We have a bunch of them in here because we create for different businesses, right? But this is where you would click on that to start an ad campaign. So if you want to monetize things and beef things up a little bit, this creating an ad will help you to do that. One of the things that when you do click on that, you can see here with this other arrow, know what your advertising goal is. It's either going to be to get more calls, to get more website sales or signups, or if you have a physical location, to get more people to your location. Google kind of walks you through it. So, but if you want to play around with that, this is where you actually do Google Ads. All right. So one of the things that I like to take a look at is definitely the insights, or we call it analytics. Facebook has them, LinkedIn has them, Google My Business has them, and they are really cool. All right, you can actually see how many total searches you get a month, a week. They have little drop-down menus here, so you can actually click on this and you can see, pick some certain dates. But also, a little bit further down here, you can see the queries that people are typing in to actually get to you, or how they find you. And so after we're done with this, I want to take you to my my Google My Business page, and I want to kind of show you that in a nutshell. It's pretty simple to see here, but I just want to show it to you. You can also see how many people call your business, which is this one down here. How many people request directions, how many people visit your website. So it's a pretty important page. I probably look at it at least at minimum once a week. All right, so this right here is a great thing too when it's the reviews. And when I pulled up Body Essentials earlier, you notice I think they had 28 reviews. The more reviews that you have, the higher you rank in the search engines, okay? So and just like Facebook, it's very, the algorithms are very similar, but you want to make sure that you have some reviews in there, and this is the place where you can actually reply to those reviews. So let's say, and it's good to reply to them, but let's say you get a bad review. It's more important to make sure that you reply to those reviews in here, so that people know that you're responding to customers that are not happy. It's just a great thing to do. And I don't know if any of you have encountered anything with bad reviews, but I have a lot of clients that have. I mean, they might have 5 stars all the way through and they get one bad review. It's really important to make sure you go in there and respond in a professional manner to those reviews. Okay, so in a nutshell, this is what it was. You need to utilize Google My Business. Now, getting discovered through search is the very first thing. So you got to make sure you have that profile. And you want to completely fill out that profile. Even if you start it today and you can't finish it, go back in there tomorrow and make sure that it is completed. Adding pictures is really important. And I'm going to take you to mine in a little bit here. The next thing you want to do is share your profile. Okay, share your profile, get it out there, let people know it's out there. You want to visit your insights weekly. This is where you can see how your business is doing. Do you need to do anything to beef things up? Are your calls way down? Are your visits to your website way down? This is a great place to kind of look and see how things are working out for you. The big thing too is that you want to maintain that profile. You want to post. You want to post weekly. You want to make sure your hours are correct. You want to watch your competition. Just like everything else out there, you got to know what your competition is doing. And when you get into, you want to beef things up a little bit, you can do the Google ads and managing your reviews. All of this is really important in Google My Business. And it's just another social platform out there, but you really need to be on it because Google makes sure that if you, they're gonna tend to push people that have a Google profile. They're gonna tend to push people toward you rather than people that don't have a Google profile. I'm gonna just click out of this, Nancy, and I just want to take you guys over to my Google page. And I'm just going to kind of show you really quick kind of what it looks like once you have it set up. But I'm clicking on posts right now, and I did kind of go through this with you, but it's very simple to add an update. So by clicking on this right here, I can go and get a picture. I can select a picture from my computer, pull it in, and write a little post in here, and then hit publish. And it's really important that you do this at least once a week. You can also, this button right here is a call to action button. I can add my website link in there. I can add any type of link wherever I want to send them into this button.
Tammy, I have a question.
Yep, go ahead, Nance.
So can you schedule posts, first of all? And second of all, if you use a service where you're, posting in several places at once, can you include the Google My Business within that?
Good, like Hootsuite, Nance?
Yes.
Okay, so there is only one. First of all, I do not believe that you can schedule your post in here. I do not believe you can do that. However, there is one platform that I am aware of, I believe it's Social Bee, that you can actually schedule a Google My Post, okay? Google My Business post. It's called Social Bee, without any other tools. However, I do believe you can through Hootsuite. I don't know if you guys have heard of the tool called Zapier. It connects, Hootsuite or Zapier connects different apps together. And I do believe that through this Zapier app, you can connect Google My Business and Hootsuite, or Google My Business and Buffer. Okay, you can connect those in there, and therefore you should be able to do exactly what you said, Nancy. But right now, the only platform that I am aware of that you can utilize Google My Business is Social Bee.
Thank you.
That was a good question. Okay, so anyways, here also is that share button. You can also share your posts that you have. And when I click on this, it brings up Facebook, Twitter, and then I can share it with an email as well. So if you not only want to post on Google My Business, but you want to share this, and I'll just kind of show you how this is. This is my personal page here, but I can actually go in here and share this to a page that I manage. And I'm just gonna click on Dynamic Designs, and I can hit boom, and it's gonna share it on that page. So I'm just gonna post that real quick there. And then I'm gonna say, no thanks, I don't wanna do any more. So that right there in itself is kind of a cool tool. And you should be posting there. So this information button is where you want to change your hours or change your labels, change any information in there. And this is that insights page. And this I want to talk just a little bit about. So if you're noticing, here, this is a good one here, less than 10, but alpaca farm near me. Okay, so for some reason, and I see weird things like this happen, but for some reason, if you're getting a lot of queries that are, for example, people have found us looking for bakeries, Dynamic Designs, I suppose, maybe a bakery, right? So if you're seeing a lot, and I'm not saying just one or two, but if you're seeing a lot of queries that don't make sense for your business, right? Okay, bakery, 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 bakery. What you need to do is you need to go back into your information page, all right? And you need to take a look at your services and make sure that wherever you have information, that you have all of the correct services in here. Maybe you don't have anything in here, and that's why they're finding you via a bakery or via a house, construction. Maybe I'm noticing a lot of construction queries, like, oh, they think we're a construction business. So you want to make sure that you kind of keep an eye on these queries right here. So some other ones here, applique embroidery, that makes sense to me. Banner printing near me, that makes sense. Business cards, car dealerships doesn't really make sense to me, but that's how they found us. A carpenter mechanical pencil, that we do promotional items, that makes sense. Copper mugs, that makes sense. So this is a great page to make sure that you're looking at, to make sure that people are finding you for the right things, okay? Now, if you scroll down a little bit further, you can see here that you can look at things 1 week ago, 1 month, or a quarter. So if I take a look at, oh yeah, so if there's not enough data for 1 week, it will tell you that right there. So there's not enough data for 1 week. Now, if, let's just say I want to look at the whole quarter. So I can see visits to my website were actually 80 requests, and this is just from Google. So anything here that pushed to your website or pushed phone calls to you, you can see that here, okay? And you can kind of see you know, websites, actually, and that makes sense because, you know, and we were closed. Websites was pretty, we had some high spikes in here for websites. Typically, that's not always like that for us. You can see the map, direction for requests. Sometimes you get a bigger service area, more people, you'll see that light up. Here, phone calls this week. Yeah, it's actually, that's good. Four phone calls this week. We've had a few phone calls. I like it. And then you can see the photo views. So people looking at your photos, and you can see customer photos versus owner photos here. So I guess the biggest thing that I guess I want you to take away from this is make sure that you're looking at this, because this is going to help tell you what direction that your business is heading, right? Or what you need to do to ramp things up, okay? So the queries is one of the most important things to me. Now, I talked about reviews, photos. If you want to upload photos, this is where you're going to upload your photos. Video, interior, exterior, product, team, identity. You can kind of classify them however you want to classify them. But it's important, just like Facebook, you have photos. It's important to add those photos. And there's a little plus button here, so it's very simple to add photos. You're going to want to update, make sure you have all your services in there. Well, there's a button right here for that too, so you can add that right there. What is really nice about Google My Business, let's say you're a business and you're just starting up or whatever it might be, you can actually create your own simple little website right from Google My Business, and that is going to be right here. They walk you through it. It's very simple, but one of the things I say is, I mean, at least it is a presence out there. If you can't spend the big bucks and have a professional website done, this is a great place to start. When we talked about users before, you can see here all of the users that we have for Dynamic Designs. And what else was I going to say here? Oh, I do want to mention this too. Because let's say you have 2 locations or 3 or 4 or whatever it is, you need to make sure that you add in your second location or third location, whatever it is. You want to make sure that you don't confuse the search engines by just having that one location. If you have 2 locations, make sure you have 2 locations in Google. All right, so one more thing. I'm just going to go Google My Business. I want to kind of start from where you should be starting. You want to type in Google My Business. And if you have a profile, you're going to sign in. If you don't, it's going to, you can set one up right here. I'm going to say manage. What's going to happen is any of the profiles that you manage are going to be located right here. And you probably will only have 1 or 2 if you're not, you know, I have a bunch of them because we manage a bunch for our clients. And then what you're going to want to do to get to that page is click on your profile. I'm going to go back to, do you notice how these are all verified right here? If it's not verified, it will say not verified, and you're going to want to click on that not verified. This one here is pending. Google is taking a really long time to verify this one, probably because of the COVID, but you want to make sure this is where you could verify it. It will be, I believe it's going to say not verified, and it'll be a little blue icon. And in order for you to do anything with your profile, you need to be verified, and that's what I had mentioned earlier. So that, my friends, is Google My Business in a nutshell. Biggest thing, make sure you have your profile filled out. The biggest thing is, second biggest thing is putting those posts out there and keeping things active and alive. I'm just going to show you also really quick here, businesses like yours are posting. This is where you can see what your competition is doing. And this is where you can go to create a post too. So you can do things, and you know, this is one place you can create a post, and then you can create a post by coming over here as well. And that is it in a nutshell. So do we have any other questions, Nance?
If anyone has a question, if you'd like to type it in the chat box in the bottom. I do want to ask you, so when you do a post, where exactly does it show up?
Okay, so if you're just doing an organic post, let's just go back here, share screen. It's like a feed, just like Facebook is, okay? If it's relevant to people, you're gonna see that feed. But it's basically, this is my feed that I have here that I'm doing this. But let's just say, Nancy, I'm on Google and I'm looking for things. That may show up in the feed if it's relevant in the feed, okay? So it's more for when you're searching. And you can see, okay, so this says 19 views on this particular one. You can, you can actually see how many views that and how many clicks. Okay, so we didn't even get any clicks on any of these. So if people are going to click on it, you'll see that click. But if it's, hey, Nancy, there you are. You're with Santa. I wonder how you got there. But anyways, so this one here got 27 views, 0 clicks. Yeah, you don't get, and you don't get many clicks in Google My Business, but it will like show up in the feed, in somebody's feed. But that's a good question too. If you're paying for it, if it's a Google sponsored ad, it's going to be relevant to what Google, like Google knows so much about each and every one of us and what we're looking for. If there's an ad, it's going to push it where it's going to be relevant to Susan or Carol. If it's relevant to you, it's going to probably push it into your feed.
Okay, I have a question from Susan from the Austin Straubel Airport. And she says, you may not know, but is this integrated with Google Flights? We often have people searching on Google Flights that want Green Bay Airport to propagate into their search bar, but Milwaukee or Appleton airports will pop up instead.
My guess is it would be integrated with it, but boy, I don't know that much about Google Flights, and that's an interesting thing because I'll check on that. And if I do find something on that, Nancy, I'll push it your way. I would think that if it is, if it should be integrated. And when that happens, when somebody, you know, and I get this question a lot because people are like, hey, we're, one of these things where my people, they're searching and we're not showing up, right? There's a lot of reasons why you might not show up. It might not just be your Google profile, okay? It might be other profiles that are out there. So, and we call that SEO, search engine optimization. So if for some reason, I'm gonna give you an example here. So years ago, before Dynamic Designs, when we just started getting into websites, I noticed that our website wasn't showing up like on the first page, okay? So what I did was a little investigating, and this holds true to today too. But we had profiles out there on Bing, Manta, Yelp, all over, right? And the profiles were not consistent. So on one profile, it was Dynamic Designs. And on another profile, it was Dynamic Designs Unlimited. And another one, Dynamic Designs Unlimited LLC. Our name wasn't consistent on all of these search engine optimization, on all these local online directories. Once we went in and created a profile, we did this manually. Once we went in and created a profile that was exactly the same on every single online directory, we shot to the top within 2 weeks. Now, now there's services out there, and we do some services, SEO services, but basically what we do is we can take your profile and we can funnel it into 4 big funnels, and that pushes them out to the big search engines that are out there. And basically we're taking everything, it's all consistent, it's all equal, and it helps you get to the top in your search engines. It's less confusing for the search engines because they get confused. If you have all these different profiles out there, they don't know that you're the same profile. And so you want to make sure that everything is very consistent and the same, and that will help you get to the top and get found. In your website, you got to make sure that you have keywords, and you have information that is going to help near Shawano or near Appleton, Wisconsin, and that people are going to find you. It's not necessarily Google My Business is not the only place to help you get higher in the search engines. And my guess is that you probably have some profiles out there that are inconsistent, and it's causing you to rank lower in the search engines. They're sweeping you under the carpet is what they do. If your stuff is all over the board, they'll rank you lower. Google will rank you lower. That's a good question though. I hear that a lot.
Great information. Any other questions from anyone? Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. I do have, even in that presentation, Nancy, I think on the last page there, I have my information. So feel free, if you think of something and you just want to reach out and say, hey, Tammy, what do you think about this? I mean, I will get back to you. I'd be happy to at least put you into, guide you into the right direction. So feel free to reach out to me.
Why don't you go ahead and give us that contact information now for the video?
Sure. Okay. Let me just flip this around here real quick. So hold on here, right here. You can reach me, Tammy at dynamicdesignsplasky.com. You can text me. I have my my phone number in there. I'm on LinkedIn at Dynamic Tammy. I'm on Facebook, Dynamic Tammy. I'm pretty accessible, and I'm not going anywhere today. So except home afterward, we're here at the office, but and we are, we have a couple of the girls that came back today, so we're semi-open, I would have to say, but we are open for business. So, and thank you for the opportunity, Nancy. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. And last call for questions. Anybody has any burning questions? Otherwise, you have Tammy's information, and she has invited you to get in touch with her if you would like to chat further. So certainly feel free to do that. So thank you so much, Tammy. This was great information. And even for those of us who, have verified our Google listing and have had it for a while, it's kind of a reminder to, hey, get back in there, update, post, and do those things. So thank you so much. And
Tammy,
yeah.
quick question.
Sure.
What's an average ballpark? I know that's a loaded question for a web design. Of course, it depends on how extravagant it is, but if someone was getting started, what's an average ballpark to put in a budget?
Oh gosh. Okay. So I would have to, so if you're looking at a professional website, you're probably looking around the $2,450. There are other options out there, if you're just getting started. And feel free to reach out to me too, because I've got a couple sources where you can actually, so Google My Business has a website thing. I'll just share them with you. Google My Business has a website thing. Squarespace is another great place to put together a website. And now Constant Contact actually has a website builder in there. So like I said, if your budget is a little bit lower, those 3 options right there are where you might want to start. And that, you know, those could be as low as $200-300 a year if you're doing it on your own. Good question.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Tammy. This was a lot of great information.